Hello YouTube, this is Hunter Surge with another commentated gameplay video recorded at 3D Shoppe. If you are in Ontario, Southern Ontario, come by 3D Shoppe in Oshawa on Thursdays at 7 p.m. for our weekly Elestrals locals. This is going to be a matchup between Earth Nexus and Bears. I am neither of the players for once. On the right is Sean, who previously was on the channel for his Earth Nexus deck profile that I went 4-2 with at the most recent webcam premiere event. And on the left we have Mr. Andrew, who is on Earth Nexus. So Sean is going to go first. Neither player is going to mulligan. He's going to normal cast Ursmog, which has the ability to expend one to allow you to special cast a 1-cost bear spirit from your hand. This can be useful in the build of bears that Sean is using, where he runs to Ursa Den, which is a stadium rune that can be enchanted with one every time, with one spirit every time you summon, every time you cast a bear spirit, and then you can disenchant 4 from it to just special cast any bear Elestral straight from your deck. Andrew is going to open up with a Viscerus that is going to threaten to run away with the game right away, but Sean is going to be able to use Altar of Stars. He has to Nexus from one bear to another, but he keeps one of those spirits on the board, and is able to stop the Viscerus from taking over right away. Sean is going to summon another copy of Ursmog. Oh no, this is, he special cast, the card he special cast was, what was this? This is Earthseer, I think? Yeah, it's Earthseer, which is the one that when it destroys something in battle, it gets a special cast another bear from your deck. So Andrew is going to PTA the newly summoned Ursmog, so it is not able to hit over the Viscerus, but the Earthseer at 3 attack is still going to be able to hit over the defense position Viscerus, and summon out the Abomin Ursa, I think this one is. Abomin Ursa is a 3/1 that gets +2 attack for every other bear on the field. And both it and the Ursmog is probably, I don't believe that I was able to hit in, because yeah, it was only 2 attacks, so it would be at 0, so it wouldn't be able to actually deal damage. But the Abomin Ursa is now sitting at a cool 5 attack. So the Viscerus isn't going to be able to get over it, and Sean is going to use the PTA to knock Viscerus down to 3, forcing a crash. However, Viscerus still gets its effect when it crashes, so because Viscerus destroyed an opposing spirit by battle, it is going to be able to summon out another. However, that is all 3 Visceruses. So that is all 3 Visceruses out of the deck now. So that is no longer going to be a threat that Andrew is going to be able to present. The Abomin Ursa is still on the board, but it's only a 3 attacker. So basically anything in the Earth Nexus is going to be able to get over this. So he is going to go into the Moss Station, which is a 6 attacker. However, at the end of this turn, if it attacks, it is going to be switched to defense, and it's only 1 defense. So it's not going to be too much of a threat for Sean to be able to clear after this turn. So the Abomin Ursa is gone. Here comes another Earthseer, which is again going to be able to beat over the Moss Station, and summon out yet another bear from the deck. And it's going to be another Abomin Ursa that is going to be sitting at 5 attack once more, because there is another bear on the field. And that puts him in an advantageous board position. However, he's probably running decently low on spirits. Andrew gets the 1 copy of Laurels. Most of the decks at this locals were adhering to the newly announced limits, even though it was not past the legality date of the ban list. So that is the absolute one of Laurels. Just have it able to punish bears. Bears are definitely a beneficiary of this ban list, especially like big bears variants, because when they swarm the board, they are much less likely to be punished by that Laurels or that Lavalith from them having a bunch of spirits on the board. However, they do still spend a lot when they go for those Ursa plays in these big bear builds, which can be very concerning. So Abomin Ursa is just going to swing in for one. Sean is going to set one. Andrew is going to put down the Elecheck, which is going to threaten to be able to go into the Demeter now, which means that Andrew is going to be in a position to win every single combat. Real quick addendum here, I am from this point on in the video going to consistently refer to Demeter as debuffing, but if you read the card, you will know that Demeter buffs one of your spirits. It does not debuff one of your opponent's spirits. I got confused with Zeus. I will correct this eventually later in the video, but just know that I am incorrect whenever I meant buff every time I said Demeter debuffs. The math works out effectively the same anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but just putting this in here ahead of that. Like, if he debuffs the Abomin Ursa here, even if Sean has a Don't Poke the Bears in the back row to buff up his bear by +4/+4, that'll still only get it to 4 after the Demeter debuff of -3/-3, which will result in a crash against that Elecheck. And it looks like Andrew has a but Andrew did not have the foresight to use the Demeter there to get over the Don't Poke the Bears. So this Don't Poke the Bears is going to put the Abomin Ursa up to 7 attack, and is just going to be a big swinging advantage here, leaving Andrew empty on board. That Altar of Stars he has in the back row isn't going to be very useful on this next turn because he has no way of activating it right now without another permanent to Nexus 2. Sean is going to, it seems he expends to draw, so you can give up your normal cast in order to expend 1 from your spirit deck to draw a card. So in this scenario where he definitely did not draw something that he could normal cast, okay, let's just draw a card, set 1, and try and maintain this board position. Andrew gets the Ash Rabbit, which is going to be able to get him more card advantage, get him to what specific cards he needs, and get him back into this game in a good position. Demeter being on the board for him is really nice, but those 3 back rows could be quite difficult for him to punch through. This is Ursmog, I believe. Yeah, that's Ursmog with the 2/3. But he probably does not have the hand at the moment to... oh no, he does have another bear in the hand. He has the Ursicle. Ursicle is able to search on normal cast for Bear, Elestral, or Rune. So you could search for the Ursa, then he could search for Don't Poke the Bear. But because it was special cast via Ursmog's effect, it will not be able to use that effect. Andrew was able to alter to stop the one thing that had the ability to punch over Ash Rabbit, the Abomin Ursa. Now it's 7 attack with 2 other Bears Elestrals on the field. He was able to stop that by switching it to defense, and everything else cannot get over the Ash Rabbit's 5 defense. And now Andrew gets the Equilinx and is going to be able to Nexus from the Ash Rabbit back to the Demeter to pop one of Sean's back rows, which was a Chains of Prometheus. Not exactly something that's going to be stopping him from swinging in at the moment. Andrew may be thinking about the possibility of switching the Ash Rabbit to attack so that he can get rid of that Abomin Ursa, since nothing else on the field is going to be able to beat over this Equilinx. However, a single Don't Poke the Bears would be able to stop the attack phase in his track. So he might have also been thinking about using Demeter, put in a position where that wouldn't work. But he has the shield, so that's going to put Equilinx back in the hand. Not a fantastic solution to the current problem facing Sean, because it's just going to come back down. However, Andrew is very low on spirits right now. Only 2 spirits left. And he's gonna go down to 0. He doesn't have any spirits in the spirit deck, so he can't play Elestrals anymore unless he got an Ambrosia that he could play off the Demeter. So that is going to be game 1 going to Sean. All right, so game 2 is now beginning. Andrew gets to choose who goes first. I believe he chooses to go first here, as he lost the last game. Andrew is going to use, both players are going to use the mulligan here. So in Elestrals, you can mulligan your starting hand, shuffle it all into your deck, and draw 5 more cards by expending 2 from your spirit deck. You can do this as many times as you want. So it is a very powerful mulligan that can get you to some very specific things, but it can also be a very punishing mulligan. If you throw away a hand and you end up with a worse one, you're going to have to burn yourself for 2 to try and get yourself back to a decent hand. Or keep the worst hand and take just that burn 2 to get you in a worse spot. But Andrew gets himself into a pretty solid hand with that one mulligan, opening with an Ass Rabbit and 1 back row. And that Ass Rabbit is just always a good opener. Bears can't really get over that on the first turn unless you go like Ursmog into Abomin Ursa. However, an Earthquake, of course, does always clear it. He is going to immediately after that use an Ambrosia to get back the spirits he paid for the Earthquake, as well as one of the spirits he used for the mulligan. He is going to use the Abomin Ursa. Gorgon's Gaze is going to come down, stopping him from searching for a bear rune, and he's just going to search a set 3 and pass the turn. Gorgon's Gaze stopping him from getting the Ursa Den to get himself into a position with one of the big bears and a big board, or the very threatening, of course, don't poke the bear. That can be very threatening, really turn a battle phase on its head with that attack position Ursicle. Andrew is going to go into a Viscerus once again, just like he did early in the previous game. Viscerus is going to be able to threaten the Ursicle. However, Shield of Achilles is going to put it back to the hand, but it's still going to be a threat. He probably does not have a Don't Poke the Bears, because that would have been much, much more profitable in this scenario. Sean is just going to set 1 face down, swing in for 1, and back to Andrew. Andrew is going to be able to put down the Demeter, going to, again, put him in a position where he can potentially beat over the threshold where Don't Poke the Bear is actually threatening. And he could go into the Viscerus again, but no, he will be going into the Equilinx here. He will be Nexusing to attempt to remove something, but Gorgon's Gaze is going to prevent that effect from resolving, and also prevent the Equilinx from attacking and clearing Sean's Ursicle. Sean will set 1 more and will expend to draw, lacking a normal cast at the moment. But he gets the Ursa Den off of that, so he's going to be able to put that down. Might be a bit early to go into that, especially with the Equilinx sitting around still, potentially able to threaten that. But Andrew does have no back row, so if Sean has a way to get rid of that Equilinx, such as having just a just Don't Poke the Bears to get over the Equilinx with the Ursicle, and with no back row on Andrew's field, he can't really do anything to stop that. So the Equilinx is now off the board. However, having to use Don't Poke the Bears offensively like that means that the Viscerus that was bounced to Andrew's hand earlier is going to be able to come down and swing in with probably less threat of a potential Don't Poke the Bears happening. Sean is just going to Gorgon's Gaze in attack step. Sean is going to play down the top decked Ursmog, but does not have the means at the moment to beat over that Viscerus. So it's just going to continue to sit on the board and be a threat, which is not a fantastic position to be in, because if that Viscerus is able to start summoning extra copies of it, it's just going to run away with the game. However, Sean is one normal cast away of a bear from being able to summon out one of the big bears. Andrew is going to spend his normal cast on Boombat, use that to clear Ursicle via effect, but Sean is going to use Altar of the Stars to move a spirit over to the Ursa Den, meaning it now has the sufficient 4 spirits it needs to summon out one of the big bears on the next turn. Sean's spirit deck does look fairly low, like 5 or so spirits left, so he's really going to be needing that big bear to just threaten to finish the game. And using the Boombat in that position may have ended up being incorrect, because that Boombat could have guaranteed he had a way to clear the big bear when it comes down. The Don't Poke the Bears is going to push the Ursmog up to 6 attack, reversing the combat back on the Viscerus. Again, Demeter can potentially be used in scenarios like that to put your opponent in a position where the Don't Poke the Bears is not going to be enough to flip combat, but it was not used for that. Sean is going to be able to use the Ursa Den, not getting out one of the big bears, probably too low on spirits at this stage to go for that, but he's just going to put out the Abomin Ursa, put out, I think that's the one that's when it's destroyed by battle, it summons one out from the deck, but on 0 spirits he's going to just flood the board with an Abomin Ursa or Smog and swing in for 3, and hopefully be able to keep control of the game from this position. Andrew is going to use a Ambrosia, putting back 3, killing himself up some amount, but he's in a very healthy spirit deck position compared to Sean. He's going to Earthquake, the only thing that's a real threat on the board, which is the Abomin Ursa, go into a Viscerus again, and that is going to just give him very decisively the game. Sean does not have any spirits left to play anything with, and it's going to summon out another Viscerus, and that remaining bear is just not going to be able to put Sean back in the game. And yeah, that is going to be the game. Sean is going to fold, and we will be going to game 3. Alright, so game 3 is going to open with Sean going first, since he lost the last game and gets to choose. He is going to open right away with the Ursa Den, put down an Ursicle that is going to be able to search for another bear. Since he went first, there is no potential Gorgon's Gaze that is going to be able to stop this, so he's going to be able to get a Don't Poke the Bears, almost certainly, or he could go for another bear Elestral if that's what he feels he needs. And on the next turn, he's going to be able to very easily threaten the ability to go into one of the big bears and get a very dominant board position. He's going to search for Elestral, the Ursier, I believe that is, with the Ursicle. Set one face down. That might telegraph that he already has a Don't Poke, or he might just be really low on Elestrals right now. But only setting one, if that's the case, might be a bit strange. Andrew is not going to be challenging the board presence at all at the moment. He is just going to go into the Ass Rabbit, give himself like that good 5 defender. But if Sean is going into one of the big 3 costs on the next turn, Ass Rabbit's 5 defense isn't going to mean a whole lot, especially if he decides to go into the Glaciersa, the 3-cost Frost Bear, which has piercing damage. Only card in the game right now that has piercing damage, as far as I'm aware. For those unfamiliar, it works like basically how you'd expect it to if you've played Yu-Gi-Oh! It means that the spirit comparison when you destroy an opponent's Elestral applies even when you attack into a defense position Elestral. So very, very threatening. But he is going to summon the Ursier. But he is going to go for the Majursa, I believe that is that card's name. Which is the Fire 3-cost bear, which is a big old 12/12. I believe it gets +2 attack for every other bear on your field, and your other bears cannot be targeted for attacks or effects. You have to deal with the Majorsa before you can deal with anything else on this board state. This play costs a lot of spirits to do. Like that was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Ursa Den, and then 3 more for the Majorsa, so 9 total. And yeah, Andrew is just going to be able to drop the Earthquake and clear the Majorsa. So that puts Sean in a very big deficit of spirits. However, Andrew is not going to be able to push right now. Maybe he just doesn't have what he really wants to be able to push, but he is just going to be going into an Ash Rabbit now. Set up that 5 defense again. That could very well just be gotten over with a Don't Poke the Bears or a Abomin Ursa, given he's leaving up this 2-bear board. And if an Abomin Ursa comes down, that's going to be 7 attack. Very easily able to deal with the Ash Rabbit. Andrew is going to go for Ambrosia to heal himself up a bit more. And is he going to do anything else here before passing the turn? No, he is just going to pass the turn. And yeah, as I suggested might occur, Sean goes in to the Abomin Ursa, and he is going to use an Ambrosia of his own to heal up some of those spirits that he spent a lot of earlier, putting himself in a decently healthy position despite going for that massive play and getting it broken. And the Abomin Ursa is going to be able to clear this Ash Rabbit no problem with no macro on Andrew's field to be able to stop it. Andrew is going to take 2 from the remaining bears on the field. A Demeter would make it really easy to get over this Abomin Ursa, but if Andrew does not have that, he's just going to have to try and whittle away at the rest of the field. He does have the Elestrals. The Elestrals is going to be able to search Demeter if this goes through, and the Demeter is going to be able to drop the Abomin Ursa down to 4 attack, which would allow the Elestrals to crash into it. But yeah, that is it's a very risky play, because if he just has Don't Poke the Bear, he turns what would be a crash into only Andrew's spirit dying. And Sean is going to just re-enchant the Ursicle just to be able to push more damage. 4 instead of the 3 he was doing before, since he does not seem to have another normal cast to go into. I think I might have seen a Glaciursa in that hand, but he didn't want to sack off a bunch of his guys. He might be preparing this Ursicle to be ascended into a Glaciursa, if that is what was in his hand on the next turn. To be able to just really put himself in a dominant position and turn like what is now like a nothing stat line, and just like something that's only dealing the 1 damage is kind of vulnerable into like a real body. Andrew is going to go for the Moss Station and disenchant from the Demeter to buff it up to 9. Threaten the Abomin Ursa to try and get back in this game, but Sean just has the Gorgon's Gaze. So he is able to stop that attack and just be able to keep his dominant position, finishing off this game. And so Sean wins our round 1, and Bears versus Earth Nexus, going 2-1. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed yet another commentary video. I will be putting Andrew's Earth Nexus list on the screen now. I do not have Sean's Bears list. And I will see you guys later. This is Hunter Church signing off.